Hello, my name is Patricia Bueno. I'm from Kalamazoo, Michigan. Let's learn together this week's memory verse, which is in Hebrews 11:31. By faith, the prostitute Rahab did not perish with those who did not believe when she had received the spies with peace. God bless you.
The account in Joshua 2 begins with a scene full of symbolism. Joshua sends spies from Shittim, a place marked by painful memories for Israel. There, in the past, they had experienced failure both in the mission of the 12 spies and in the episode of apostasy with the daughters of Moab. This background turns the new mission into a crucial test. Would failure be repeated, or would the people this time learn to trust in divine guidance? The historical tension makes this moment a decisive point for the nation. The story of Shittim reminds us that past mistakes do not necessarily determine the future. Although Israel had fallen into idolatry and unbelief, God continued to guide his people with patience and mercy. The mission of the two spies in Joshua's time, unlike the earlier failure, was heading toward victory, showing that the Lord grants opportunities to set the course right. This same principle is reflected in the personal life of Peter. The disciple denied Jesus 3 times at the most critical moment, but later received from his master a second opportunity to reaffirm his love and commitment. Thus, both Israel and Peter are clear examples of divine grace that always offers a new beginning. Welcome, my name is Augusto Palacios, and this is Studying the Lesson. Sunday, October 5th. Second Chance. The sending of the spies from Shittim reminds us of the story recorded in Numbers 13 and 14, where the unbelief of the people led them to wander 40 years in the desert. The failure of that generation did not nullify God's promise, but it did delay its fulfillment. In Joshua 2, the new spying mission takes on a different nuance. It is not merely about assessing the land, but about demonstrating trust in divine guidance. The lesson is clear. God allows his children to face similar situations again so they may learn to respond with faith. The place of departure, Shittim, was also tied to idolatry with the Moabite women. This memory was meant to serve as a warning against self-sufficiency and disobedience. Now, in Joshua's context, Shittim becomes the point of a new beginning. This teaches us that even places associated with sin and failure can be transformed into settings of redemption when one chooses to obey God. The parallel with Peter's life is revealing. Just as Israel had a second chance to enter the Promised Land, Peter received the grace to reaffirm his love for Christ after having denied him. In both cases, God's grace surpassed human failure. The fall was not the end of the story but the starting point for a deeper experience of trust and faithfulness. In John chapter 21, Jesus not only forgives Peter, but also restores him and sends him to feed his sheep. Similarly, Israel was not only forgiven but also sent to fulfill its mission of conquering and settling in the Promised Land. Grace is not simply wiping away the past, but a transforming power that enables service. These stories emphasize that the God of Israel is a God of new opportunities. Grace, as Paul teaches, is not received by works but as an undeserved gift, Ephesians chapter 2, verse 8. Yet this gift propels us into a renewed life. Israel was to move forward in faith toward Canaan, and Peter was to faithfully follow Christ. Both examples show that divine grace always comes with a call to obedience and mission. The concept of a second chance is, in reality, a limited expression. The Bible reveals a God who does not offer only one but multiple opportunities to those who sincerely repent. If we had only a single second option, none of us could stand. Divine patience instead shows us that each day is an invitation to start anew under His mercy. This principle has a practical application in our personal relationships. Just as God offers opportunities to those who fail, we too are called to show grace to others. The church is not a place to exclude those who fall, but a space to restore, encourage, and strengthen those who seek to rise again. The second chance God grants us must be reflected in how we treat those who also need to start over. Finally, both Israel and Peter remind us that second chances are decisive. They must not be taken as excuses to fall back into error, but as moments to respond with greater faithfulness and commitment. Grace is not a license to sin but a power to obey. God offers opportunities, but He expects from His children a response that honors His name and confirms the transformation He brings to their lives. I invite you to follow me on my social networks, Facebook, Instagram, Threads, and X or Twitter. Every day, Sunday to Friday, we post 2 questions at exactly 2 p.m. and 8 p.m. These questions are designed to reinforce our learning and generate feedback. Your comments are valuable and enrich our study. Join the conversation and share your reflections with our community.